Welcome or welcome back. We're your hosts,
Catherine,
Kaylee,
and Sophia.
and this is Beyond the Buzz.
Today in episode 2, we'll be covering modern day TV productions.
this includes The Summer I Turned Pretty, XO Kitty, Disney, and Sony Productions. Okay, so first off, let's talk about The Summer I Turned Pretty and XO Kitty. So I've only seen The Summer I Turned Pretty, so my team for The Summer I Turned Pretty is, so Jeremiah, first 2 seasons, Conrad last season. Okay, any thoughts?
I've been Team Conrad for the whole show, even through the books. The book was better.
I was team Jeremiah like the first. Honestly, until I found out that he cheated on Belly, and then when he cheated on Belly, I was team Conrad. But low-key, if I say team Belly, I think that's the obvious winner.
I think I'm Team Anti-Belly, if anything.
Oh, okay, haters.
Well, I just think that she's, problematic, and a lot of what happened wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for her, egging things on.
I think, oh my god, I love Steven and Taylor. They are the most self-aware person. After, they take care of, what's his face, Connor, or Jeremiah, they're we seem, insane compared to these, idiots. I think Belly is just being so stupid and hung up on this idea of Conrad and hung up on the idea of Jeremiah, and I think that's why she's making these decisions.
I kind of thought the whole, the premise of the show was very interesting in my opinion. I thought the way that it came off was cringe, but I enjoyed the teams and I enjoyed, the ships and all of the characters. I just didn't know whether it was actually realistic.
I have mixed opinions on how the TV show adaptation was changed on from the books, because in the show we had the Deb ball and we didn't get that in the books, but I enjoyed seeing other characters, because from the Deb ball we got Shayla and Steven, and I know a lot of people enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think that was cute.
In the books, Taylor was only in flashback, so I think incorporating her really just elevated the storyline, because yeah, she was only in flashbacks in the book, if I remember correctly.
I actually never read the book, so I was jumping in blind watching the show, and I think maybe that's where I felt a little awkward, because I think Jenny Han, she kind of creates, her whole premise is creating movies and shows based off of her books, so I think that somewhat afflicted my ability to enjoy the show.
I think that to watch the show and be able to interpret and understand it, you have to read the book first, because I think that the book gives a lot of backstory. But for Jenny Han, she recently put out a 2nd season of XO Kitty, and there's no book for that.
Okay, I think it was actually the 3rd season, but I enjoyed XO Kitty a lot more than I did The Summer I Turned Pretty. I love all of the relationships, Kitty and Mino, and also Day and Eunice and Q and Jin. I will say Juliana and Yuri's relationship seemed a bit toxic, but overall I thought that their friend group was so cute together, and I enjoyed that aspect of the show.
Can you give a brief summary, because I personally have never seen XO Kitty, but it's a spin-off of one of her books called To All the Boys I Loved Before, which I have seen and I have read the books, but can you give a little summary of what happens?
XO Kitty, I think it's about just Kitty, so Lara Jean's younger sister, finding her voice. She goes to Korea to try and learn more about her mom, and she goes to a school called KISS, and she meets a lot of friends there, and they have this big group, and I think that she just goes on adventures with them, and it's a fun young adult kind of show, and it covers romance and just all of the different feelings as a teenager, which I think is very lovable.
I think it's very glorified version of the teenage experience, but it's the side of of what everyone wants and what they long for.
Yeah, I think all of the romance is definitely somewhat unrealistic and, as you said, glorified, but I think that kind of brings the identity of the show out.
I found the 3rd season really hard to get through. I think that the show overused topics And we were just like, we were seeing the same thing where it's like, oh, Kitty's in love with this guy. Oh, this guy like likes someone else. And then I just think that we were getting the same thing of that all the time. And I personally couldn't find it enjoyable anymore.
Yeah, I recognize a lot of people, I think, kind of felt that way. I, for one, enjoyed pretty much, I enjoyed all seasons of the show. I do think it became repetitive as it went on, but I don't know, is this the last season? I think
there's more.
Okay, earlier in the year I heard it was the last one, but could be wrong.
Wow, that's really interesting. I feel like Disney has also been going down the same path as ExoKitty in terms of the quality of TV shows that they've been producing and just like their overall storytelling.
In my opinion, Disney's been stretching on their franchises like farther than they need to be, because recently Descendants and Zombies, both the fourth movies, came out, but I believe that it would have been better if they had called it a sequel or like a spin-off movie,
like a sequel series,
saying that it was
the
like a continuation
thing.
of the same like movie and storyline, because the cast is different, especially for Descendants. It was nice that in Zombies Meg and Milo were still there, because it was like, oh, handing off the baton, and that's what they called it themselves.
Yeah.
I think that, like, with the differences in cast and also just the budgets of the movie, too, I think that it kind of created a whole different vibe, and it wasn't as nostalgic as, like, I think we have experienced those movies before. Like, I remember, like, in second grade when Descendants, like, 2 came out, and I was genuinely, like, overcome with joy, and I thought that was my whole life for a couple years, and I think now it just doesn't feel the same.
I think that Descendants felt so, like, cute and like nostalgic, because we were kids, and it was like, oh, they were high schoolers living this magical experience, and that's what you would have like thought it would live up to be.
Yeah, I distinctly remember when the first Zombies came out. Like, I remember what I did that day, and I feel like these movies aren't having the same effect. Like, the Camp Rock movies, the original ones came out almost 15, 20 years ago, and so kids nowadays don't really know, like, don't remember when it came out, and they're just continuing on and making a third one, even though the last one came out a while ago.
I also think the casts for the new movies are in the same circle all the time. I know Malachi Barton is in, like, the new Zombies and the Camp Rock.
Coven Academy
too. And I think just all of, like, in general, the cast, these new, younger teen actors are the same people in all of these movies. And I'm kind of missing that each franchise got their own set of people.
Especially, like, Liamani is also in Descendants and Camp Rock.
They're also going on tour, which is a continuation of the Zombies Descendants World Collide tour, and in my opinion, I feel like they're only making these really low budget sequels, or like bad sequels, just for the tour and just for the profit.
I think that they had originally made Camp Rock because they had seen Disney like do so well with Descendants and Zombies. I don't necessarily think it was a tour. I just think it ended up that way.
I think it was also the nostalgia, but the tour itself, I just don't. I think it's also there's a lot of drama surrounding that, and I think that it's kind of complicated. Something that we don't really have to dive into, but I think just having so many kids in the same circle and being friends and working on all these movies makes a great like plan to make a tour.
Yeah.
I just think that you have to realize and respect that the actors are still human, and they're only, like, they're still young too, so you can't expect, like, so much from them. Thanks so much for listening in to Beyond the Buzz. Once again, we're your hosts,
Catherine,
Kaylee,
And Sophia.
Tune in next week.